Welcome back to action now from the Bridgestone Thunderbikes and part 2, as Dave mentioned, of race number 1. The 1 minute board going up there. Lance Isaac starting to get into the mix. You can see, watch those heads go down as we go racing now for this Bridgestone Thunderbikes and sub 10 category combined. Heads down and we're about to go racing.
Just to mention, Greg, the sub 10s basically means those are the riders that can hang around the 1 minute 10 bracket at the SWAT Corps Raceway. That's what the sub 10 category actually means.
And basically gets them up into Thunderbikes sort of class B and C, as it would be known, the sub 10 category. Because once these guys start getting up to the mix like they're doing here, as we're on board here with Harry Timmerman, as they get faster and faster, they automatically get bumped up into Thunderbikes and become part and parcel of the front end of this race, as we're seeing them go through Crowthorne Corner.
Through Yixkay and into Barbecue. I love this section of the track. Look at the stream of bikes as they come through there. Then it's flat out through the left-hander. This will be a third gear turn for most of these guys. Onto the back straight towards Sunset, where they'll grab fourth and fifth gears back to fourth for Sunset. And it's Lance Isaac, Superbet, BMW in front.
He leads things out. Agliotti coming through there on the Ridgeway Race Bar and West Side Motorcycles Honda. That's awesome to see. Oh, Stratianicus out there on a KTM Super Duke, hanging it on the naked bike and staying in amongst some of those big four-cylinder machines too. Lovely to see that man giving it everything he can in the mid-pack.
Love to see that upright riding style of those street bikes in amongst the super bikes. I keep saying, let's have a street bike championship. They really stand out on the track. Big number boards and all that sort of thing. As we crank it up towards the top end of the circuit. The Leeuwkop bend later on this afternoon, that'll be full of sunshine.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for these guys. Look at that. Jordan Agliotti diving on the inside, having a bit of a fight, as you can see there. And it's two Kawasaki ZX-10s that he's fighting with. So the second of those West Side Hondas really in the mix. Henk scaling just behind them, and he's fighting at the moment with Chris Kruger and Reino Kruger. So nice little packs of riders starting to get to grips with each other. And in fact, Byron Rothkol has just got to the front end of that little pack we're speaking about.
He's been doing it on the brakes, Byron, on that lap. I've been watching him in the background. He's late on the brakes into the corners. He's come a long way in this series. They go to the straight we go, Greg, and look at that. Isaacs has pulled already 2 seconds on the rest of the group.
Yeah, he's just disappearing at the front end. I don't think anyone's going to have an answer to him. He's missing out on his arch rival, of course, Alan John Fenter, not making it out for this round, looking to get all the budget that he can to put aside for Isle of Man. But you can see not too far off the back end there. Purificati is keeping him relatively honest. And right, I think he's going to be, he's going to be in trouble.
Gareth Laverick also in there. Andre Calvert on the Ducati having a tremendous run with the Panigale.
First time out for him here at this circuit, so he's going to get to grips with the track. It's not the usual circuit he's raced at before at Kyalami. There's acres of room here, particularly for on a motorcycle. Let's have a look at it from Laverick's point of view as it goes through Sunset.
Ducati right in front of him. He streams that R1 down into Clubhouse. Bangs it down to second gear. Good flow through there. Can he close on the Ducati? Does the Yamaha have more power? Doesn't look like it really. Henk scaling, where's he going? Around the outside.
Yeah, a little bit of a wide line there from him. He's got a busy day in the saddle. He's going to be working hard, I think, in amongst this little pack, trying to keep out the attentions there coming from Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas just ahead as he got through on that last pass, and now starting to pull a bit of a margin on Scaling. Scaling behind has got the Krugers and Landy Sinden on the Milwaukee Yamaha as they head up to the top of the hill. Lance Isaac disappearing at the front end. Not much to worry about here whatsoever on that Superbets BMW. And in fact, you can see him looking over his shoulder going, where are you guys? Come on, I need some guys to play with you.
Just looking at the lap charts, over a second quicker than anybody else at the moment. So he's got that BMW well dialed in at the moment as the Henk Scaling group comes down into the bottom there and bump each other up.
Reino Kruger going around the outside. Ronaldo Marais trying to follow him through. Henk Scaling. A problem in the back, though, putting up the hand. I think that might be Dion Smith. Dion Smith with an issue. He pulls to the sideline. Harry Portke to HP Source on the brakes, going down into Crowthorne. Heads up. There goes Aidan Barnard. He dives on the inside, and he stayed wide, so there's a possibility. There you go. Spicer.
Wayne Spicer's going to be busy today. He's busy on the track, but he's also riding in the Red Square ZX-10 Masters Cup a bit later on. Right, we're having a good look at Gareth Laverick, the brightest Yamaha on the track as he climbs up towards the Leeuwkop bend. On his tail, there's Andre Calvert, the Cape Tonian. This is a great dice, Greg, going on here for second, third, fourth, and fifth. And just behind them is Reggie Seal in sixth place.
Now, Pierre Grobler coming through as well, but you can see at this stage the front-end battle. Second place, it's Purificati versus Mornay Portgieter. Then you've got the battle between the Yamaha. Oh, around the outside, that's brilliant. Here comes Purificati back at him. I think he ran a little bit too hot in there. So the two of them having a fantastic
back under him. As we go up to the penultimate bend, they can't do it though. He has to sit behind. But this is fantastic stuff from them.
This is what it's all about in Thunderbikes. It really is getting to be some of the best motorcycle racing we've got in the country. Under braking, down onto the final turn, and whoa, Portkita had a big dive. I think there's a problem there on that motorcycle of Pierre Ficati's. He really is battling to turn it in. I wonder if he's got his tyre pressures a bit wrong, because this morning it was cool and wet. It's now dry and hot.
Maybe he's missed a little bit on a setup. Listen to that R1 screaming at the end of the straight. 270, just about 280 k's per hour this glorious day at Kyalami.
They come through there and you can see Portkita just waiting for possibilities of that bike to go even worse. He can see there's an issue. Being that up close and personal, you can definitely pick up that there's a problem in front of you with the rider and the machine that he's on. And speaking of that, Calvert is starting to close in on the back end of Laverick. So Laverick's days might be numbered. It looks like that Ducati's got great grunt out of the turns, but the top end of the Yamaha is just keeping him at the front end of that little fight.
Yeah, the Ducati grunts well out of the corners, top end. Obviously the R1 Yamaha being a 4-cylinder bike, little bit more top end speed of that motorcycle. But if Calvert chooses his place correctly, he's going to get by. Looks to me like Laverick's days are numbered there in the 5th position.
It's lovely to see this kind of a battle. Really top quality. And looking a little bit further back as they come through the S's there, keep an eye out on Reggie Seal. He's just behind Pierre Krobler, who's just behind this pack at this stage, leading the sub-10 Class A. Sub-10 Class B at the moment, Byron Rothwell's just hit the front.
Now, Rothwell having a good run there, also doing a lot of work on the brakes with that motorcycle. But how's this class going on? 2nd and 3rd, as close as that. So Morne Potgieter is all over Damon Pierre Ficati. And the Ducati's making a move as well as they come down the hill.
Amazing to see that this is Calvert's first time to this track. He has never ridden the new Kyalami
around the
before.
outside as well.
Nicely done there, but just not able to make it stick. And same thing from Calvert. So it looks like basically what is 2 and 4 on track at this stage, forcing the other riders, which are now 3 and 5, to do some evasive maneuvers to get through.
Well, they're riding defensively as well, having to guard through. And look at that, once again, a lift up from Morne Potgieter, almost running into the back there of Damien Pierre Ficati. I think Pierre Ficati has got a problem changing direction with that bike.
Oh, that's a great shot, heading down to 280k an hour. This is the point that they hit on the brakes. And it looks like, even though he can't turn the bike in, Pierre Ficati is good on the brakes. He was the latest of all 3 of those motorcycles to come through into Crowthorne. And now as they head up towards Barbecue and Nuxkay, Calvert is definitely looking a little bit more racy. He is up for the challenge now, and these last couple of laps, he's going to be up for possibly a podium position.
They're all lapping within a 10th of each other at the moment, so there's nothing in it for these riders. And it's great to see this sort of dicing going on in the Bridgestone Thunderbikes. That's what's cool about the series. Doesn't matter what level you're at. You can be riding in the sub-10, Bs, the As, all these categories within this race. And once again, Morne Potgieter picks the bike up, tries to skirt it down to Clubhouse. Can he get up on the inside as they go into the S's? No, he can't.
Very close though, very close now. And he's so close he has to come out of it. That was close. Whew. Nearly going right up the tailpiece there of the BMW. Had to come out of it ever so slightly, which has now allowed Laverick and Calvert a chance and a sniff of getting through on him. So now he has to go on the attack. Probably going to be a good idea to get ahead of that BMW and make these two fight it out behind the BM.
They're all within a second now for that 2nd position on the track. 1st position is Lance Isaacs. As the laps wind down after this, he'll probably have, let's look at lap chart, 1 lap to go. He looks over his shoulder, just checks out where everybody is. Lance Isaacs is having a tremendous run on that BMW.
He's definitely missing out on Alan John Fenter not being concentrating on all his efforts to get to the Isle of Man. But Lance Isaacs is doing everything while the sun shines. Remember, if he stays at the front end of both of these races, he could potentially overtake Championship's point leader, who is sidelined at the moment, Sean Stoutgat for Mark. So potentially a Championship leading race win here today for Lance Isaacs.
Reggie Seal and Keith Agliotti. This is the dice going on at the moment for 7th position. The Honda hasn't got quite the grunt as they go down the straight, but he's doing so well around the bends. Laverick, he gets overtaken straight away by Andre Calvert. That Ducati's been waiting to pounce, and he's made his move.
Good on the brake maneuver there from Calvert. Now looking to do the same thing to both Morne Potgieter. He's not close enough just yet, but Potgieter is looking for a way through still on Pierre Ficati. I don't know how Pierre Ficati's hung on. This is Landy Sinden heading down into Crocodiles. Have a listen to this little machine pulling out the Milwaukee Yamaha in full screen.
16,000 RPM out of that little Yamaha. She is in danger. I'm just looking at her being lapped by Lance Isaacs, our race leader at the moment. She may just be lapped because we're going into the last... and somebody's gone off. Potgieter. He's got a problem with the bike.
That doesn't happen on a ZX10. And there he goes to the sideline off the track.
I'm worried about the oil.
Could possibly be some oil that he's dropped off. Fortunately, he got straight off the circuit, though. Here comes Lance Isaacs coming up onto the back end there of 68, I think, Chris Kruger. but he's going to probably give Chris Kruger one more lap to do. Stand by for the stand-up wheelie from Sir Lancelot. There it is, taking the victory and race 1 in the Bridgestone Thunderbikes.
Oh, it's great to have him in the series with the Superbets BMW. There's your result then. It's Lance Isaacs, Andre Calvert, Gareth Laverick, Damon Perfecati, Pierre Krobler, Reggie Seal, Keith Aglioti, and Wayne Spicer.
It was actually brilliant. I fell back to 5th place and had a good dice and eventually ended up 2nd, so it was really cool.